Hello? 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 Alright, we sound good. What up, dudes? And lady dudes? And dudes? How's it going? Starting a couple minutes early here, just to let people gather. Should be a rather rapid stream today. We have 9 total games to get through. So just wanted to get the stream up so people could see it on their YouTube notifications and maybe hop in. Otherwise, if they hop in like 30 minutes late, they're going to already miss 2 or 3 games. So they miss like a third of the stream. So just going to let them gather. You might have noticed there's a lot of streams going on. And that's true. That is true. I was gone for the weekend selling board games, but now we're back. And yesterday, I had to stream the Gracier finals for our playoffs. Our Chieftain and Storm Vermin playoffs, I might be streaming twice tomorrow, depending on when they get those games done. But I would like to stream them both before the patch, so that I don't cast games from a previous patch on the new patch. Not for bug reasons. It's not a secret way, but you can revert to previous methods on Steam. So the replays would be fine. I just really don't want to stream old content on a new patch and then, like, people come in during the stream and are like, how are the new units and all this stuff? It's like, don't know. We're on the previous patch. Don't know what's going on. So, yeah, might be streaming twice tomorrow to get those playoffs. Might be streaming 3 times tomorrow to cover the patch notes and both the playoffs. So it's like a whole thing. It's a whole thing, man. And then we'll be streaming Patch Day, playing some games, checking out some of the new stuff, seeing how that goes. And then Friday, we have something. New player tournament, that's right. Saturday, we have a regular tournament. Sunday, we have a campaign stream. It's going to be a lot of content. I took this whole week off of work to cover Warhammer shit for you people. Hopefully that goes well. Also, starting Saturday on the new patch, we do have a big clan event. So I know it's confusing. There's 2... this is unrelated. The stream today was ODM and a bunch of non-clan affiliated players got together and made an event, and they had a fun time on their own. We're going to stream that for them. That's unrelated. I didn't run that. I'm just streaming it because they asked me to. But we have a clan event. One of our patrons is funding, but I'm hosting it, where it's, if you remember the Nations event we did last Christmas time-ish, right, where we had like Italy, South America, North America East, North America West, things like that, and they all fought to see which was the best nation grouping or whatever. We're doing that format again, but it's clans, so NC fielded a couple teams, RTK, MTK, ODM, VOD, Mercenaries again, and then XMT all fielded some teams. And it's that best of 5 format where it's like 5 different players from each clan will play each other in various pick and ban states, and we'll stream them. Each stream will be about like an hour long, so they're pretty crisp and nice for high level gameplay. Figure out who the best clan is definitively. But that'll start Saturday on the new patch, and players will play those games over a week, and I'll stream them as they're available. So lots of good shit going on around this patch coming up. ODM stands for Objectively Distressed Miscreants. Oh, of course. Just want to thank you for your consistent streams. Studying for law school is my brain pouring out my ears, but your streams keep me sane. Thanks, Pax Kravis. Though sane is not how I would describe my streams. We have 1 minute until the posted start time. So let's just start getting into what is happening today. These here ruffians, these tomfoolery committing shenanigans, decided to have a little bit of a clan war. They wanted to try out something. I don't know whose idea it was, but Rocket told me about it. Umais told me about it later too, but like Rocket told me about it, so I'm just going to say Rocket did this, but I don't know who actually invented it. But they're doing a different thing than just points. So normal clan wars, you go back and forth like, there's 9 games total, right? So if the left-hand team, the Mercs, wins 5 games, it's over. The rest of the games don't matter. They get played out anyway, but they won 5 games. They have 5 points out of 9. They win. Yay, hooray, huzzah. But these math heads, these Excel-addicted nerds... It's okay. I'm also a nerd. Most of my job occurs on Excel. Anyway, these guys came up with a system where there's a comeback mechanic. So you see those 2 giant Warriors of Chaos symbols covering up the column that says points. As we go down, whoever wins, I think it's 20% of the points of their opponent. So if the Mercs won like 4 games in a row, they would accrue 180 points because the ODM starts at 100, so then it's like 20, 140, 160, 180. And then if ODM wins the next game, the comeback mechanic kicks in and they go... So they have 100, and then what's 20% of 180? Isn't it 36? So instead of getting 20 points for their win, they get 36, which makes their wins mean more as they try and catch up. It was just a fun little thing they were trying. So yeah, there's no blocker needed for the replays because we know all 9 games are going to happen. So it's not a surprise to anybody. Uzumai's idea? Alright. Tracks. I had to move. The right-hand Warriors of Chaos thing was a little off-center, so I had to move it, but I was worried Photoshop would do things where it moves it too far. Anyway, it's 10:01. Let's get into this. You can see all the matchups in front of you. We're going to have Lizardmen, Vampire Counts. Don't know how that cursed matchup is happening, but sure. Demons of Chaos versus Wood Elves, Khorne versus Slaanesh, Chaos Dwarfs versus Lizardmen, Empire versus Dark Elves, Wood Elves versus Norska, Dark Elves versus Scaven, Beastmen versus Vampire Coast, and Warriors of Chaos versus Beastmen. Games I am most excited for today. Coops. We love Coops. And then Lucy versus Persian Warrior, don't care. Losaurus versus Sir Groot, don't care. Umais versus Salinair, don't care. Central Scroot versus Hannons, don't care. Butcherbird versus the Green One, don't care. Sippa versus Segos, don't care. Palpatine versus Alfred Dino, Yawn, Snoozerfest, and Blood Payment versus Razel, don't care. Wow, so 8 garbage games, and then my boy Coops. My boy Coops. Spoilers, I'm only excited about Coops. I don't give a shit about anything else. I am covering Total War Warhammer 3 exclusively because Coops still plays. If Coops ever stops playing, I'm out. Memes, shenanigans, and bullshittery aside, we are getting into the first game. Coops on Lizardmen versus ODM's The Last Mohican of Vampire Counts. And Coops is bringing Krokgar. Who was it yesterday? Was it Leopard? I think Leopard was taking... Krokgar versus Strat Games Vampire Counts. So apparently someone knows something I don't, and they're taking Krokgar in serious matchups. I still think he's not trash. I think he is fine. Like, middle of the road, fine in this matchup. He's an anti-large duelist. His Hand of the Gods can poke down the enemy, things like that. But I think the Slans are like the best lord in the entire game. So if you're not taking some variant of Slan, I'm immediately suspect. But we'll see. Anyway, for the builds, Krokgar. Beastcaster with just Flock of Doom, and then the Mask. What does the Mask do? Increase miscast chance. Alright, just trying to get the Vampire Lord to poke himself down a little bit. We have an Ancient Salamander, bestowed on Rev Crystal for a little bit of healing, the Umbral Tide to provide that DPS, and then Feral Cold One, Saurus Spears, a bunch of Skinks, Cohorts, and Skirmishers alike. Now what we did see is, I think Leopard had 4 Salamanders, but they did really, really good work on Crypt Horrors and then the Mortis Engine because of that weakness to fire from their regeneration. So Coops only has 1, but it's still a good little bit of poke against those Crypt Horrors. On the other side, for the Vampire Counts of the Last Mohican, we have the Dire Pack and some Fellbats for a bit of harassment. Blood Dragon Vampire Lord, very stalwart choice of the Vampire Counts right now, and has been for like the last 5 or 6 months. His overlapping melee buffs just make him an insane combatant, and then he's still a Vampire Caster, so he's just really, really good. Triple Vargeist for that armor-piercing presence, and then Skeleton Warriors, Skeleton Spearmen, and Zombies across the front line. Do have a Corpse Cart with the Unholy Lodestone, and a couple of those Crypt Horrors who are already going to feel the lash of the Umbral Tide as the game gets off to a start. Now, once again, I do feel this matchup is really tough for the Vampire Counts, because you have to prepare for a single entity blob with a ton of healing, a Saurus box with a ton of healing, or a kite build, and those are three very different things to try and prep for. As an unholy blob is forming here as Vargeist and Felbats all dive on top of each other, try and kill off these feral kobolds. And while they will do so, I wonder if this is an overcommitment of resources for 2 450 gold random cheap cav. And Kroq-Gar even weighs in on the subject, eating the Dire Pack alive as all the Vargeist try and abandon it to its fate. The Salamanders are in a bit of trouble, though. Blooddragon Vampire Lord has taken significant damage, but as these flying forces come over, the Lizardmen are otherwise committed across the front line. They don't have a ton of resources that can come back here and help out, and as we see, the Blooddragon Lord just dives down himself to start the fight off a little bit. But I would like to see from Lasmo he can getting at least one of these Vargeist to come back and help out the Blooddragon Lord, because these guys are wide open. There's nothing back here to defend them. We can see, yeah, some of those flying forces are trying to force path past all of the feral kobolds and stuff just to get back here. Sort of like that. That's good play. It's good stuff. Flock of Doom trying to punish the Vampire Counts to start that attrition early, and the frontline fight is going heavily in the favor of the Lizardmen. So the Vampires are on a ticking timer to get into this backline and kill off all these things before the Skinks and Saurus turn around and come back here to defend them. Kroq-Gar jumping on the Blood Dragon Lord. This is why he was brought. He can constantly punish the Dragon Lord whenever he lands. Now, the Blood Dragon Lord is more than up to the task of dueling with Kroq-Gar if he has all of his buffs popped and he can get back in the sky and heal whenever he wants to, and Kroq-Gar really can't. But, I mean, it's not like the Vampire Counts. If Kroq-Gar is fighting him, then your ranged units are free to help out other places, while if the Blood Dragon Lord is fighting Kroq-Gar, it's not like there's ranged units that could come help fight Kroq-Gar or anything like that. Skeletons chasing down the Salamanders, just stopping them from shooting for a bit. While the Blood Dragon Lord gets back into the sky, dodges out that Salamander bolt. And Vargeist are actually bailing on this fight. They're feeling a little under the weather, so they're going to try and go regroup with their Corpse Cart, maybe get some free healing there, and they're going to rear charge some of these Saurus and Skinks, try and get them to rout off. Get value elsewhere as it was. Blood Dragon Lord wants to back off and get a little bit of healing. And the Salamanders are in no man's land. It'll take them quite a long time to get back up to the targets they actually want to be shooting, because they'll have to either walk around the skeletons over here or just shoot them, which is fine by the Vampire Counts. They're like, sure, shoot my skeletons, I don't care. As long as you're away from my Vargeists and Crypt Horrors, I'm good with this. And the Skink Priest of Beasts is about to rout. Skinks are getting run off everywhere, and the Source Warriors have taken more than their fair share of damage. But the Blood Dragon Lord is awfully low, and he did just overcast something. He overcast Invocation of Nehek, but it only hit one of his Vargeists and a Skeleton Spearman. That does not feel like a worthwhile cast, unfortunately. He's going to dive in on Skink Priest. Should be able to hit that guy nice and freely. Push him off the map. Little win for the Vampire Counts there. But Kroq-Gar and the lads are pushing off the backline, getting rid of those skeletons and freeing up the Umbral Tide again. Their Skink forces are still doing fine. And it's not like they're suffering from the delay. They are getting more and more healing from their Rev Crystals somewhere. I saw it just go off, but I don't know what it was healing. Blood Dragon Lord falling back. Crypt Horrors and Vargeist still chasing off Skinks. But I'm getting concerned. I'm getting concerned about the Vampire Count's longevity here. All their Felbats appear to be dead, so the only mobility is the Vargeist at this point. That's the only thing that can deal with the Umbral Tide. As long as Kroq-Gar and these little 400 gold Skinks play guard to the Umbral Tide, if the Vargeist land on them, like we saw in playoffs yesterday, Vargeist chasing down these 400 gold Skinks took more than their fair share of damage just from the Skinks running away and shooting at them. Their insanely low armor and like no missile resist makes those 400 gold Skinks do a lot of damage to them compared to their price point. So could be rough if they're the only things left to deal with the Umbral Tide. Kroq-Gar decides to chase them off, run them back into the sky, maybe even bail out his little Skink Priest of Beasts that has just withstood the test of time so far. And the Rev Crystal plus the Salamander are busy dealing with Skeleton Spearmen. Umbral Tide are here and firing away, and yes, this is the target what they wanted. Took them a while to get back in range of it, but the Crypt Horrors are perfect. Low armor, large targets with weakness to fire. These guys do have anti-large, it's just not armor piercing. Vargeist coming back to deal with them once and for all. We'll see if the Skinks can get in position to punish this, because you can't really stop it from happening, but you can at least make them pay a high price for doing it. But it actually doesn't look like the Skinks are in position. They're trying to deal with the Blood Dragon Lord for a bit, so this would be a huge moment for the Vargeist to dive back here and get free value on the Umbral Tide. Meanwhile, Kroq-Gar is surrounded by Crypt Horrors. Vargeist's not going to join in on that fight, and I think that's probably for the best. rather than clumping up around Kroq-Gar and getting shot on all sides. You need to go deal with the skirmishers. That's the word I was looking for. Here are the Vargheists. Uncontested, the Umbral Tide should go down. Should. But they're firing in melee, and there's one skink poking these guys in the back, while the Ancient Salamander on the side also does the same. Kroq-Gar once again chasing the Blood Dragon Vampire Lord. Does get into the sky. Kroq-Gar's leaping attack scratches his tail on the way up, technically causing damage, which is fine. And unfortunately, that is a Helm of Discord popped while he was running away, so he didn't get to abuse the buffs. Salamander Hunting Pack is pushed off. Feral Cold Ones have rallied, but we'll see if they actually get in the fight. And 3 Vargheists still alive, still could slowly heal up, but ow, that was a nasty shot from the Ancient Salamander right on these guys, and they're going to start crumbling. And they're losing in melee to these Skink Skirmishers as they just get shot at point-blank range. A rear charge from the other Vargheist will save these guys, but crumbling is not something that can be evaded, and the Ancient Salamander takes another big shot at them, kind of sealing their fate. There's no point in healing them now. They're just going to crumble to death. Blood Dragon Lord trying to take his anger out on the Ancient Salamander. All of his buffs are popped, giving him that 1k weapon strength. Most of it is armor piercing that he desperately needed. The Umbral Tide are back. Only 5 models left, so they're not going to do insane DPS, but it's good poke. It looks like these Vargheists are coming once and for all to end this. Sick and tired of those guys' games. Rev Crystal trying to heal up the Ancient Salamander, but it might be too late for him as he just takes a ton of damage. But Kroq-Gar and the lads finish off the Corpse Cart with the Unholy Lodestone, killing off last Skeleton Spears, and occasionally causing the Crypt Horrors to crumble of their own volition. Ancient Salamander skulks away. Umbral Tide are all dead, for real this time. And I don't really know what can kill all these Saurus left, especially as they still are getting Rev Crystal charges every so often. I keep hearing that noise. Somewhere, somehow. Crypt Horrors commit in to fight Kroq-Gar, but he takes a bite out of crime. And, they're not feeling so hot as they start to crumble away in front of him, down to 8 models. Rev Crystal diving in. Last Skink Skirmishers is going to get taken out by some Vargheists. But for the counts, it is 2 very wounded Vargheists, a Blood Dragon Lord who also has seen better days, and a Crypt Horror that's fate is now sealed. Their leadership's going to just stay negative for the rest of the game, so they'll slowly crumble away to nothingness. Blood Dragon Lord again tries to get off the ground. He does, but Kroq-Gar gets another rear charge on him as he throws out an Overcast Invocation Act trying to help the Vargheists too. But at some point, he's just going to have to bite the bullet and take the fight with Kroq-Gar, because he can't afford to keep taking all his poke like this to chase around other things. His best shot is to just 1v1 Kroq-Gar and pray to RNGesus that he wins. Good snipe here on the Ancient Salamander. Takes him out. We'll route that guy. Vargheists and Crypt Horrors trying to deal with these Feral Cold Ones and Skink Skirmishers. But here comes Kroq-Gar again. And again, the melee debuff is down, but he's using it to run away. Kroq-Gar gets a rear charge. Using his charge bonus and hitting the Blood Dragon Lord in the back. His 36 melee defense just means he's going to get hit full free. No way he avoids this. He's trying to get back into the sky. It's not really working out for him. His Crypt Horrors are going to fade away. Vargheists are nearing their heal caps, but still not crumbling just yet. Kroq-Gar momentarily slips up, but does get in here. Gets his charge attack down. Sword of Anti-Heroes is popped to give a little bit more weapon strength. The Vargheists are finally going to surround Kroq-Gar and just hope for the best. Last Invocation Heck used on Blood Dragon Lord should send him to his heal cap. A zombie summon is out. This is it. The final fight. See if the Blood Dragon Lord can take out Kroq-Gar. Skinks are terror routing away. Now Kroq-Gar is alone. And this is what I was talking about all game. The Blood Dragon Lord is more than a match for Kroq-Gar in a straight-up duel. It's just annoying to deal with him all the time. But now there's no ranged at units or anything. He is destroying Kroq-Gar. And I would have liked to see this a little bit earlier, but hindsight is 2020, as the Blood Dragon Lord is mulching the last defender. Eating him alive! The balance power is coming back for the Vampire Count. Skeletons holding back all of the Saurus Spears as the Vargheists dive in. Kroq-Gar is having a bad time. Cold-blooded is keeping him in the fight, but now the Blood Dragon Lord's trying to leave. Van Helsdan's Macabre giving him extra speed and melee attacks. He tries to take to the skies and refresh his charge bonus, apparently, but he is crumbling slowly. Army losses will hit, and he goes down. Damn. It was a valiant last attempt there, but it was too late, unfortunately. Hi, Sir Vids. Good to have you, good to have you. Hey, Babarat. 4,100 value on Kroq-Gar. Good stuff there. Salamanders, mixed value across. Like that, the Umbral Tide did great. The Ancient Salamander did fine. I feel like his value is a little understated though, because he was like really nice at taking out those Vargheists in the late game, and he was just a distraction piece. But yeah, like I'll say it once, I'll say it 100 times, I'll say it a million times. These 400 gold skinks are one of the reasons that this matchup is so cursed. They're just amazing. They're amazing versus almost everything besides Black Knights and Blood Knights. But Black Knights and Blood Knights are such a risk with vampire counts, because if you take the Sora Spear blob with healing, or if you take the single entity blob with healing, Black Knights and Blood Knights are literally worthless. So it's such a risk to take them. But without them, if you just rely on Vargulfs and Vargheists, actually, and Crypt Horrors and stuff, then these little skinks can get all of their damage out. They're insane. They're cracked. For last Mohican, his Blood Dragon Lord, 2,800 value, so he was no slouch. His Vargheist play was pretty excellent. Whenever I use Vargheists, I just end up sending them to their death, and they die immediately. So he kept him online for a long time, kept him in the late game, so that was good. That was good. GG. Good morning, Lil Trill. Needs a damage buff ability and defense ability like the old one has. Would be nice. GG. GG. So game 1 goes to Coops and the Mercenaries, revealing the point system. So ODM started at 100, they stay at 100, and Coops goes up just a little bit. Whoop. And then I'm also going to do this. Oh, that's a little too aggressive. I'll go boop, boop. You know what? No, that's too confusing. Let's do green check marks for wins. Boop, boop. So 1 win for the Mercenaries. And on to game 2. Lusignan, the Demons of Chaos versus the Wood Elves of Persian Warrior. A tough matchup for the Demons, but what isn't a tough matchup for the Demons? I am also hyped for the Shadows of Change DLC update. I'm really hoping there's some balance changes in the patch and not just adding content and leaving, because the healing meta is very, very stale, and the top factions are also quite stale. Alrighty. What else versus Demons of Chaos? For the Demons of Chaos of Lusignan, 5 Nurglings frontline, 5 blue horrors backing them up. We do have a Herald of Nurgle of Death, the Fate of Una, Spirit Lich, and then his Locust of Fecundity healing. The Golden Griffin of Theurgy. Hazel, hey, come here. You need to stop getting all upset and barking literally whenever I stream. Hey, you come here. You stop looking out that window if it's going to be a problem. We have 2 Screamers, one of which is the Shrieking Skyrise, 2 Plague Toads of Nurgle, a Blood Shrine of Khorne, and then, ow, damage on the Herald of Nurgle. As he gets sniped out a little bit from the Spellweaver of High Magic, her Tempest doing a lot of damage, while the Deepwood Scouts also lend a little bit of aid. So the Herald of Nurgle not feeling so hot. On the side of Persian Warrior, we have a Spellweaver of High Magic with Tempest and Apotheosis. 3 Deepwood Scouts with Swift Shiver Shards, giving them that magic damage, so they can bypass the Demon's physical resistance. Eternal Guard frontline, backed up by Dryads, who also have magic damage to do a little bit more. Some Sisters of the Thorn, 3 of them, in fact, for your cavalry. Cool, cool. Already, we have a Blue Horror of Tzeentch, Demonic Instability crumbling away, and the Herald of Nurgle, wherever he is in the battlefield, there he is at about 1/3 HP, so a very, very rough start for the Demons as they try to get involved. Deepwood Scouts still raining terror upon the Plague Toads, and I don't think there's a single Demons of Chaos unit that can withstand Archers. The whole roster is weak to Archers, and it's pretty brutal for them. So the Wood Elves feeling strong, feeling spry, as the Plague Toads charge into our little Eternal Guard friends. It looks like they're trying to just path through and maybe keep harassing the Archers or the Dryads in the back. They really don't want to stand on these spears, but the Deepwood Scouts unleash another terrifying volley onto the Plague Toads. Second Spirit Lich on the Spellweaver of High Magic, but I think she should just spend her time using Tempests on the enemy Nurgle caster. Sisters of the Thorn unfortunately caught in a ranged fight, which is not something they want to do. They need to go into melee with the Blue Horrors or avoid them entirely, because their range damage is nothing. As oh god, a Screamer was deleted before our eyes. It had shields and full HP, and it just straight up died from one volley. That was insane. Oh, that's funny. It makes sense, but it's still funny to see it. Alright, Screamer actually managing to hold on for now all of a sudden. One more Plague Toad fades away. The Sisters of the Thorn running away from the the Blue Horrors, because they do rely on 40% physical resistance, so they're actually quite squishy to the Demons of Chaos here. The Screamer that penetrated the backline did eventually get shut down. Deepwood Scouts mulching through the Golden Griffin of Theurgy that's also hit with a Tempest. But the Herald of Nurgle has stemmed his bleeding and managed to stay alive so far as Nurglings fade away on the front line. Blue Horrors under attack by the Sisters of Thorn and Dryads. They will lose this fight, but they'll lose it slowly. The Blood Shrine of Khorne is trying to help the Shrieking Skyrays out in the backfield, but the Deepwood Scouts are running away, peeling for themselves. They do insane damage to the Shrieking Skyrays, and Sisters of Thorn get a rear charge. Another Spirit Leech on the Spellweaver of High Magic. We know Tempest is on cooldown for now as the Golden Griffin continues to take damage. Sisters of Thorn getting charged by him, but they're largely looking like they're just going to ignore him, as Fecundity is down to try and heal up both the single entities of the Demons of Chaos. Wood Elf frontline is holding strong overall. A couple breaks here and there, but for the most part, they are winning. And their backfield is also doing fine. Gehenna's Golden Hound's bound ability of that big Lord of Change is ripping through the Deepwood Scouts, trying to get good damage onto them as the Blood Shrine of Khorne takes another nasty hit. Surrounded by Sisters of Thorn and Dryads, not having a good time. Golden Griffin dueling with the Spellweaver for High Magic as a Curse of Honor here tries to debuff him. Herald of Nurgle Death also joins in, and this Spellweaver for High Magic's taking a lot of damage. She needs to opt out of this, and she is. On her Eagle, she is very, very fast and should get to safety without much of an issue. In fact, I predict there's going to be another Tempest on these two single entities who are right next to each other for that insane damage. Yeah, there it is. But they do get a charge onto her, and they get a Spirit Leech, so is this a suicide pact for both sides? We'll have to see. Plague Toads getting onto the Deepwood Scouts is good. Blood Shrine of Khorne also offering a little bit of that DPS. The Spellweaver for High Magic is going to run away, but the Deepwood Scouts offering that supporting fire probably takes the Herald of Nurgle with them. Yep, Demonic Instability knocks him out of the game, and that will mean the Demons of Chaos all over the map start to Demonic Instability crumble. Without their leadership, they are nothing as the army falls away before our very eyes. There goes the Blood Shrine, there go the Plague Toads, there go the Blue Horrors, there go the Nurglings. Everything is Demonic Instability crumbling as the Golden Griffin of Theurgy chases up the High Magic caster, but it's too little too late. As Demonic Instability is an unforgiving, brutal mistress that probably needs to calm the fuck down. Screamers got deleted by the Deepwood Scouts. Plague Toads were nice and disruptive. Blue Horrors were the heroes of this matchup. They were doing their best. Nurglings got largely rolled, as they always do. For Persian, his cavalry didn't accomplish much. They tried, but just didn't get a lot of value. It was the Deepwood Scouts that got a ton, so did the High Caster, sniping out the enemy lord. So GG. GG. Back to the Photoshop, give the green checkmark to the Wood Elves. Pull the points down a little bit. So the Mercenaries stay at 120, but ODM gets 124 because they were behind when they won. That's how the maths work. I'm getting a lot of text. I'm going to see if any of them are imminently important. Alright. Sorry, I had to answer that. I was getting a lot of texts because I wasn't answering. Boo. Alright, made a note for myself to deal with it after the stream, but I did text them and tell them I'm busy, so hopefully that tide of texts will slow down. You know what won't slow down? This clan war. Boom! Game 3. Khorne versus Slaanesh. Let's get into it. Lasaurus on Khorne versus Sir Groot's Slaanesh. Of the Game 3 matchups, one of the ones that was still pretty fun, even back before Mortal Empires. Khorne Slaanesh was always one that had a little bit of interactivity to it. For Khorne, we have some Chaos Knights and Fleshhounds for the majority of their force. Marauders as a front line. Spawn backing up the Brutes of the Bloodhound, and that is it. Okay. Valky in the Sky, Demon Shield, and Spear Sleipnir. 4 Slaanesh and Sir Group. Do have 2 Chaos Knights, 4 Marauder Horsemen of Slaanesh, and then we have Exalted Demonettes, 3 of those, one of which is Bringers of Beguilement. Triple Marauder front line, some Spears, some regular, and then a Herald of Shadows on foot. Don't see her on foot a lot. Pit of Shades, Melkots, and a Fury Summon. Yo, so there goes. Chaos Knights charge in onto the helpless Marauders. Get some decent impact damage, but the Chaos Knights of Khorne are quick to answer, so the Slaaneshies will have to get out of here. They'll take a little bit on the back, but not too much. These guys don't have high armor piercing, so it's not that punishing, and the Slaanesh should be able to get away, while the Skirmish Cav offer them a little bit of supporting fire on the way out. Fleshhounds creeping in. Khorne kind of getting a little bit of a surround here as they start to creep in on the Slaaneshies, make sure they can't skirmish for free. And our first Fury Summon is out. I don't know what goes after. This whole build from Khorne is melee focused. It's not like the Furies can harass any backline or anything. They'll just have to dive to their doom. Is Valkia the best Khorne Lord? Yes, by far. No one else is even close to as good as Valkia is. Some are passable, but Valkia is the only one that is like actively any good. Valkia dives in with the Spawn and the Marauders onto these Spears. Furies try and stop the Marauders from arriving, but it is a little too late for them. And this is probably going to be a Pit of Shades target. There's too many units all on top of each other, so yeah, that's going to be a really big Pit of Shades. And you generally never want 2 infantry units to be right on top of each other, otherwise you get punished like that. Fleshhounds getting the deep surround, though. They should be able to get on to these Marauder Horsemen of Slaanesh. We will see, as them and the Chaos Knights corner eating good in the neighborhood. Though, Slaanesh's front line has seen better days. Already we have 1 spear routing. And Chaos Knights are even having to be used as a front line as Fleshhounds stream into the back and get onto these Marauder Horsemen of Slaanesh. Good stuff for them. The Exalted Demonettes of Slaanesh should be able to kill off the Spawn and the Brutes of the Hound quite effectively. They are nearly unmatched in melee combat, but their squishiness comes from spells or ranged units or something like that, which Khorne doesn't have a ton of, so the Exalted Demonettes are a really good pick in this matchup. Valkia lands in, trying to get a little bit of damage on the Herald of Shadows. Bringers of Beguilement are taking a lot of damage as they kill off the Brutes of the Hound and the Spawn of Khorne. They're not immune to damage, but they will eventually kill those guys off. Another Melkots hurting the Chaos Knights a bit. Exalted Demonettes and Marauders fighting as hard as they can, though the Marauders look like they might rout soon. Brutes of the Hound just about toast. Spawn going to follow them shortly, but another Spawn is running around being annoying. For Slaanesh Skirmish Cap, we still have 2 online. Looks like just 2. 2 online, throwing away as much as they can into these Khornates. And there's a Minotaur of Khorne. It must have mistook you for Spawn at some point. Their great weapons will not help them much versus the Herald of Slaanesh. She is on foot, but she's just such a squishy character in general. They should still do fine versus her, even though she's not on a mount they can get a bonus from. She used their second and final Fury Summon. A Rampage is onto the Minotaurs of Khorne from Bringers of Beguilement. The Bringers of Beguilement are going to start fading away. Monolith's ability is right around the corner for them. They have pretty much killed the Spawn and the Brutes of the Hound, and then they moved on to trying to fight the Minotaurs a little bit. Both those units are unbreakable, though, so their health bars are a little deceptive. Bringers of Beguilement are down. Slaanesh is behind the balance powers that continue to struggle against Khorne. Khorne's Chaos Knights seem to be doing okay on this flank. On the other flank, they're actually dead. Just flat out dead. Furies taking the fight against the Minotaurs. These are Chaos Furies. They're not the Chaos Furies of Slaanesh, which have 100% armor piercing. They're just randos doing their best. Getting a little pokes here and there on the Minotaurs. Another Melkots mystifying mana spawn with the Chaos Knights of Khorne. And Marauders are coming back for a second wave while the Demonettes seem rather exhausted. They've done decent damage, but now their HP is low, and that means a lot of instability is around the corner for them. Still pretty tight overall. These Chaos Knights of Khorne attempt to get through these Chaos Knights of Slaanesh. They do have a slight HP advantage, but it seems like they're a little distracted trying to chase down the Skirmish Cavalry, which does let the Chaos Knights of Slaanesh get some free hits in onto them. Khorne falls behind in the balance of power, and Minos not having a good time fighting these Exalted Demonettes for their price point. Looks like they're going to rout soon. Chaos Knights of Khorne and Slaanesh coming back here for a little bit. The Khorne banner isn't following, but we are really intermixed in who is where and what's going on in here. It's just a bit of insanity. Chaos Knights of Khorne end up losing the fight, routing away. The Herald of Slaanesh's embrace was too much for Khorne to overcome. We still have both Chaos Knights of Slaanesh running around with a decent amount of HP. And I think Valkia's last chance to win this is to snipe out the Herald of Slaanesh. Throws down her Demon Shield, it just wears off now. She gets another hit on the Herald of Slaanesh of Shadows. Demonette's going to crumble away. Leave Valkia all alone with the Herald. We have some skirmish cab fire coming in, but Valkia is largely resistant to that. Still full health skirmish cab, which could be a problem. Melkoth's trying to slow Valkia down and let the Herald get away. But it's quickly becoming just the Valkia show. Khorne is in mass exodus everywhere else. Fascination, trying to rampage Valkia, also doing just little bits of poke damage wherever you can. And I don't know about this. She is rampaging now, so out of control. All that matters. I wonder, can the Marauder Horseman without any ammunition deal with her? We have this one that has a lot. This one has a lot, but not a lot of bottles. I guess she's just flat out losing to this little blob fight anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Rip in peace, Valkia. She gets jostled and beat up, down to half HP-ish. And the Herald of Slaanesh teased her a bit, but decided not to go in for it. Actually, Melkoth's going to damage her a little bit more. As some Chaos Knights run down Marauders who are trying to rejoin the battle. She's still trying. But I don't see theirs anyway, man. She's toast. There we go. Hey, Mr. Casual. Valkia did great. Chaos Knights of Khorne, mixed, but overall not that good, unfortunately. Minotaurs did okay, Spawn did okay, Brutes of the Hound got shreked, Fleshhounds did fine-ish, and Marauders mixed, but overall fine. For Sagrut, his Herald, considering she was on foot, probably paid for herself. His Chaos Knights both paid for themselves, which is a huge winner in this matchup. All of the Exalted Demonettes did fantastically, considering their price point. Marauder Horsemen and Slaanesh did okay. Basic Marauders, they did get chopped up. The rest of the Slaanesh build did really well, but the 3 Marauders didn't have the best day. Back to the Photoshop briefly. So that is Slaanesh dub. Yes. And there's 2 wins for the side of the ODM team. Game 4. Yumai's on his Chaos Dwarves. I'm not going to cast this. I'm not going to cast this. You know why I'm not going to cast this? Because Yumai's is a bully. Come with me, children. Come with me to witness Yumai's bullying poor human boy. Alright, your videos... So, I have a video coming out in 2 days. Non-hero, non-lord bulls, guys. Guys, they're real. It's Yumai's versus Lizardmen. And that's cool. That's nice. That's fun. Anyway, so Yumai's taken his patented bull build versus Salinator. Spoiling the video before it comes out. Ugh. Now it is different. He was fighting Big JP in the video, and Big JP had a different build than Salinator did, but it's just funny. So in 3 days, you'll have heard me cast this similar build twice. Let's go. For the triple bowls, we do have a Bale Taurus, a Great Taurus, and then a Sorcerer Prophet of Fire on his own Bale Taurus. He has Cascading Fire Cloak, Burning Head, and Fireball. To support him a bit, we have Chaos Dwarf Warriors, the Blazing Beards of Bazarak, notably, but then other ones with great weapons, and Goblin Laborers. So it is just Chaos Dwarf Warriors and Laborers. There's no ranged units, there's no cavalry. We do have Gordo's Backstabber. He brings Slippery as his only ability, otherwise it's just a nice little poke guy. Okay. For Salinator, Double Ancient Salamander Kite, Mazda Mundi up on Zlak with Net, Comet, and Apotheosis, plus his bound spells. Then we have a bunch of Skin Cohorts with Javelins, 4 Ripperdactyls, and some Feral Cold Ones on the side. The Sally's trying to kite out the Blazing Beards of Bazrek. Whatever happened to Little JP? Big JP ate him. Fireball goes for the Ripperdactyl Riders, gets a little bit of poke on them, but not too much, and the Blazing Beards are beset by foes. Not having a good time there. Gorda's taking the fight to Mazda Mundi. He does not have good armor-piercing value, so he will lose versus this big old Slaanesh. It's not going to be a good time for him, while the Triple Bulls chase around some Ripperdactyl Riders. So far, Lizardmen are destroying the Chaos Dwarves front line quite handedly, but the Triple Bulls are still trying to find somewhere to hang out. And they're now chasing down the Salamander, the Ancient Salamanders, getting a little bit of poke there. Ripperdactyls finally take the fight with them. I think that's kind of a win-win, because these guys were previously trying to chase down Rippers, and then couldn't get them, and then now that they attack the Salamander, the Rippers come to them. But this Sorcerer Prophet is hovering above these guys. He's having issues landing to deal with them, as both of these Tauruses just circle around, so that's cool, that's nice, that's fun. Thankfully, the Rippers are losing to the Chaos Dwarves anyway, but yeah, the single entities are having real issues landing on them. There they go. They finally land. And this great Taurus is bullying some of the Rippers as they run away. Mazda Mundi uses his first Ruination of Cities here. Oh, and gets amazing RNG down the line of those Chaos Dwarf Warriors, so he deletes an entire unit with that bound spell. Gordas is trying to run down the Salamanders. He is providing good annoyance there. He did nothing versus Mazda, but versus the Salamanders, he'll actually be pretty solid. And then these Bale Tauruses just like to dive on whenever the Ripperdactyls commit to a fight. They show up and beat the hell out of them, which is pretty good. Say goodbye to your little Ripperdactyl Riders. And this is one of the reasons that Lizardmen are my favorite S tier faction to cast, because like they have the least insane bullshit. Right? Their healing is strong, and they're definitely an S tier faction. But, like, Ripperdactyls disintegrate before your eyes if you use them wrong. Or something like that. It's not like Grail Knights, or like Mother Ostankia, or the Bear Blob, where it's, oh, I knew it was coming, and I can't do anything about it. It's like, look, like, these triple Bale Tauruses were clearly an anti-Ripperdactyl tech piece, and they're beating the shit out of them. That's cool, that's interactive, that's fun. Someone had a cool idea, and it's paying off. Whereas sometimes versus Grand Cathay and like Bretonia and Kislev, it just gets depressing because you're like, listen, no matter how hard I try and counter this shit, it's just gonna win, so I don't care. The Triple Bulls have beaten up most of the Ripperdactyl Riders. Nice little breath attack on the landed Rippers. Oh, followed up by a second one. No, that's a Fireball. Okay, whatever. Still good damage. Rippers lost like half their HP. That's probably the best breath attack I've ever seen out of a Bale Taurus. Anyway, I was reading chat for a second. I agree, Ripperdactyls are ride or die. They'll win instantly or they'll lose instantly. No real in between. For the Chaos Dwarves, they don't have a lot left on the ground. They have some wounded warriors and whatever that Mazda Mundi and the Salamanders could deal with in isolation, but the balance of power lead is heavily on these 3 single entities flying around beating up some fools, and I agree. I don't see what the Lizardmen have that can kill these guys anymore. The Rippers are all too beat up. They're too destroyed. An overcasted net is out from Salamander, but there's no follow-up punishment. It was a defensive net to try and keep them away from Mazda and the lads for a little bit. Mazda's going to try and take a fight with this great Taurus. Meanwhile, a Fireball goes to poke the Ripperdactyls. Does a little bit of damage, sets them on fire, so if they receive any healing, it will be nerfed. The net is still active on our heroes, but they're starting to move now as they get in each other's way and kind of jitter their animations. Bale Taurus is still up in the sky. Lizardmen are down to just 2 Salamanders and Mazda for the most part. Like, we have some Rippers, but a sideways breath attack is going to delete them away from the other Bale Taurus. Push these guys off. Mazda uses another Ruination of Cities to get rid of a Chaos Dwarf Warrior, though I'm sure both sides went. I guess that happened. No one's that sad a random Chaos Dwarf Warrior got killed at this point. As the lone Bale Taurus is currently getting sniped out a little bit. A net was coming in from Osmoney, but it is too late. The Source Prophet of Fire has landed, so he's here to stay. And the other Great Taurus is going to land soon. So the 3v1 that was occurring on this Bale Taurus has quickly become a 3v3. The Chaos Dwarves are more than happy to take. They should win it overall. Mazda has the advantage of healing. He can throw Apotheosis on his guys, but I just think that the Salamanders are such lackluster melee combatants compared to the Bale Tauruses that the Chaos Dwarf should win even despite the healing. And I would hope so, right? A ranged kiting tool shouldn't beat focused melee monsters in melee. The Bale Taurus has abandoned the fight, though. He's trying to deal with the Ripperdactyls, and that's getting a little scary, because now, again, we have a 3v1 going on in this Bale Taurus, as the Sorcerer Prophet is backing off. And 3v1, the Salamanders and Mazda will beat up any of these giant bulls. And one of the bulls is even routing, and Apotheosis heals up the Ripperdactyl Riders, but another Breath Attack comes in from the Bale Taurus. He sets the Ripperdactyls on fire, which does cut that healing in half, so that is good. High third of 5. Quick little fireball, once again poking these guys down. I imagine the Bale Taurus will be diving in soon as the Lord gets his breath attack off onto the Ripperdactyls, though. Honestly, the Ripperdactyls are so damaged in so few models at this point that he did more damage to his own troops. But again, the Ripperdactyls are worth more than the rest of his army at this point, so he's happy to just get rid of him. Cascading Fire Cloak is cast on the Bale Taurus as he starts to move forward. Ripperdactyls try and fight this big Taurus mount, but two of them die on the charge, and then they tear her out just as they're getting an Apotheosis, and then the Bale Taurus Lord goes right past them and dives onto the Ancient Salamanders. Getting big damage on the charge. Trying to get rid of this guy soon. Mazda Mundi's coming over to help out a little bit. We still have some Chaos Dwarves lumbering into the fight to offer their support. The Salamander's going down for now. Still have sprawling units trying to come back. Salamander, Cold Blood is the only thing that's keeping him in it. And he routes anyway. Cold-blooded! More like bitch-blooded, because he's a coward. Something is happening. Mazdamunda's throwing out a comet. It's going to hit his own Salamander and kill it. Calling it 3, 2, 1. Go! Ah, it missed. I wanted to have the Green Knight thing, where sometimes the Fey Enchantress's comet will hit the Green Knight dead on and, like, kill him. Hi, Shetland Apache. It's been a while. Why don't ancient salamanders have fire resistance? I don't know, man. Not everything should have fire resistance. It's okay. They literally spit fire but can't. Get it? What? I hate where YouTube has put that little heart. Yeah, I could see them getting fire resistance. I could also see them not getting it. I don't know. Just because you spit fire doesn't mean you want it, like, caked over your outer skin. Like, the inner lining of their throat could be fire resistant, but then their outer skin is not. I could see that. Like, you wouldn't want stomach acid on your arm, right? Even though we're human and we have acid in our stomachs, it's not like if I just had a cup of human stomach acid and I poured it on my arm, I'd probably still get, like, burned or irritation. Thanks, Bolek. I try my best. Sometimes you're like, is what I'm going to say cringe or worth it? I don't know. We'll just send it. If it's cringe, then they'll laugh at me. If it's good, then they'll laugh with me. The Tauruses did great. They hard carried this game, which I guess they were the only real damage the Chaos Dwarfs brought. So if they're going to win, which they did, then they had to carry. For Salinator, Mazda did well. The Ripperdactyls did what they could, but there wasn't like Infernal Ironsworn or Fireglaves or Blunderbusses for them to chase down. They just got stuck fighting single entities, which they didn't want. I wonder how well the Colossus Hunters would have done. Because one part of me thinks their anti-large would have done really well here and stuff. But, like, seeing how much damage Umai's bulls were doing, I don't know how different it would have been, right? Colossus Hunters having their anti-large doesn't mean they won't still take, like, what was it, like a third of their HP on the charge as these bulls just mulched through them. So, I don't know. I don't know if the Colossus Hunters would have helped at all. Umai's evening it back up. 2-2 in score. Let's try to do a check mark that doesn't go too crazy. And the points, they were behind, so they get a little bit more. So they go up to 150, while ODM is at 148. So on their fancy math score, the Mercenaries are currently up 2 points. But the traditional score, it's 2-2. Game 5, just cresting over the halfway point here. Central Scrutinizer on his beloved Empire versus Hanadins on his Dark Elves. I also know Hanadins is an Empire player, so I kind of hope that they'll someday do an Empire mirror match. But for now, this is fine, I guess. I love casting Dark Elves. Seems the Salamanders not pay off. Salamanders are good in that matchup if you do a traditional build. I really wouldn't judge Salinator's build. I think Salinator's build was fine. I really think that was much more of Yumai's build being creative and very far off of what you think is coming than being like, wow, Salamanders aren't good in that matchup. Because I've seen a lot of matchups where Salamanders kite out Blunderbusses and they kite out Infernal Ironsworn and they kite out Infernal Guard and like all that stuff and they do really well. But like I have seen the triple bull before, but it's from the same fucking guy, right? So it's like, I've seen this twice ever of Yumai's just spamming bulls and running at the Lizardmen. So it's not something like, yeah, why didn't Salinator just expect 3 bulls, guys? So I think the Salamanders are good in that matchup. I think that was just kind of a crazy build from the Chaos Dwarves. All right. For such Scrutinizer in the Empire, we have triple Pistolier, 1 Outrider with grenade launchers, 3 or 4 Empire Knights, 4 of them, 2 War Wagons, and then a bunch of Swordsmen and Spearmen. Boris Toddbringer up in the sky, and a Deathcaster with just Spirit Leech for his spells. And the side for Hanadins and the Dark Elves, we have Shades, 4 of them. And then some Bleak Swords, some Witch Elves, Dark Riders, and Cold One Knights. And then a Dragoncaster of Dark with Soul Stealer. And then Power of Darkness, which she already used to drain down her own Bleak Swords just a little bit. Hi, I'm pretty new to Warhammer 3. Is there any reason people use so much cav in PvP matches other than preference? The meta right now outside of healing is Cavalry. Cavalry and mobility control can generally beat infantry spam, because in the late game you can choose your engagements and cycle charge them to death. Infantry are very hard to win the game off of. It's possible, but it's harder. Yeah, chat has some good answers for you too, and there was my short version. Anyway, Pistoliers plus a frontal charge, taking out some Shades, terror routing them away while Dark Riders fight Empire Knights. Empire Knights will win that, but what they will not win is getting breath attacked in the side while fighting Cold Knights and Witch Elves. They want out of here so fast, and the Witch Elves do rampage one of the Empire Knights. I'm surprised this one never got rampaged. He still has one model in the Witch Elves. Do they get the rampage proc? Does not look like they will as the first Soul Stealer hits. Ooh, the caster in both War Wagons. That's actually pretty good Soul Stealer as far as damage goes. It'll heal up this Dark Elf Sorceress, though she really didn't take that much damage, so we'll see how much the healing actually matters. As Boris is back onto the Shades, Pistolier's running up to kite a little bit. And where is that grenade launcher? He's got to be in here somewhere, because I don't see him on the back of the map anymore. Here he is. Grenade launcher firing at the Witch Elves. Getting a little bit of damage, but those guys are a little more spread out. The big damage values you usually see are like High Elves, who are super clustered up. Boris might have overextended. He now has a dragon landing on him. He's surrounded by enemy cavalry, though he is doing that thing. Sometimes cavalry will fully surround someone and stop them in place, and sometimes cavalry will just walk peacefully alongside them. This is one of those peacefully alongside the moments I'm sure Hanadin's rather frustrated. He's just like, just get in front of him and stop him! And all of these cold ones are like, nah, let's just walk alongside him. It's fine, it's chill. Outriders grenade launchers do get rampaged by the Witch Elves. A little bit of a whoopsie. While Boris was trying to escape, it looks like the Empire player's micro slipped and he allowed the Witch Elves to get up onto his Outriders and rampage them into their death. Empire Knights also trying to kite away. War Wagon's still shooting, but right now they're shooting infantry, which is the worst target for them. They're trying to get in range of this Supreme Sorceress of Dark, and they should be shooting at her soon, but it looks like they still just kind of fire at will on. They're firing at whatever. They need to focus up. But Boris is eating up a lot of the Empire player's micro right now, and it's costing him elsewhere. This Pistolier flank is going well, but Shade's got a free shot onto his War Wagons, and he lost his Outriders grenade launchers, so you're going to have to see the Empire, tighten their belts and figure some shit out here as they're playing a little bit from behind. Another Spirit Leech on the Supreme Sorceress of Dark. She has Opal Amulet up for a little bit longer. It will give 20% resistance throughout the whole Spirit Leech, because it'll last longer than Spirit Leech will. Empire State Troops fighting against Dark Riders. Some of those Dark Riders getting caught up over here. More Dark Riders getting caught in the backfield too, actually. But overall, I'm still liking the Dark Elves position in this game. You still have some Shades that can counter the War Wagons when you need it. You still have a good amount of cavalry. You've done some decent poke here and there. Empire's not out of it, though. They got their Outriders grenade launchers back. They still have Pistoliers kiting around. They still have Empire Knights just leading these guys on a wild goose chase. And there's the Murderous Prowess pop. So for the next 90 seconds, the Dark Elves are a lot scarier, but we'll see how long that lasts. Well, okay, it lasts 90 seconds. I get it. But we'll see if they get any engagements while it lasts, is what I should have said. See how long it lasts. It lasts a set amount of time. I'm angry at myself for being stupid and dumb. Another Soul Stealer to poke down Toddy. Toddy has his self-healing, but with most self-healing in the game, you know you're going to have to eventually get through it, so you might as well start poking him down. Pistoliers getting kited by Shades. Shades can generally win that engagement because Pistoliers... If Pistoliers out DPS Shades, I would be very concerned. So I'm glad that Shades are beating Pistoliers in a standing fight. Alright, the Shades do a lot of damage to Boris. We see his heal cap approach, and as soon as he dives down, he gets movement orders to run away, but it is too late. Dark Riders are going to swarm him, and this is what we were watching for earlier. Nice breath attack from them, but the Dark Riders pile up on Boris instead of walking with him. Now they're doing the walking with him thing again because his mass is too good, but they did stop him briefly, allow for that breath attack. And now the Dark Riders are running after the Pistoliers and the War Wagons. Just push them away so the Dark Caster can land on Boris to get this free damage out here. Boris down to about 1/3 HP. His heal cap's up to about 2/3 area, so he's not feeling too good overall. Dark Riders are sacrificed to Slaanesh by the Imperials, and they will die. I feel like we've been watching Dark Riders die the whole game, and yet there's always more. They're kind of like Scaven slaves. There's always more Dark Riders. Boris's leadership is chilling if he can get far enough away from this Supreme Sorceress of Dark, and the Deathcaster is actually following her around, getting some good hits in on her rear, but she's catching back up to Boris. They're just as fast, so maybe we'll see how much distance she can actually get. Dark Riders are starting to shatter off the battlefield. For the Dark Elves, we still have a healthy Cold One Knight, a healthy-ish Cold One Knight, and then 3 healthy Shades. For the Empire, Boris is fine if he can rally. Like, his HP is chillin'. Deathcaster's full HP. War Wagons still have a lot of ammunition. We still have Outriders, grenade launchers with a lot of ammunition, and a lot of state troops. So yeah, if Boris can be rallied, which he's really trying to, if Boris can be rallied, the Empire, I actually might put them in a favored position here. Supreme Sorceress Dark just taking free damage as she focuses all of her energies on catching up to Boris, and even though he has 90 speed and she has 90 speed, I feel like she's been catching up to him, which I don't understand, because she's not even charging, but whatever. People are going to yell at me in the comments, are going to be like, well, things, like, she's tired, he's very tired. I just wish that was on the unit card. That's all I'm asking for. Because it annoys me it's not clear. Like, we have debuffs, while the Dark Elves recoalesce and while the Empire recoalesce, we have debuffs on their cards for, like, leadership, right? It's like, oh, damage sustained, -16. You could have the same fucking thing for speed, like, exhausted, -8 or something. Like, it could be a stat that updates. And when you cast spells on them, their speed goes up, like, you can see it. Why is it fatigue on there? It's just, it's a pet peeve of mine. I'm gonna mention it every time until CA fixes it. Alright, the Empire's still recoalescing. And this Deathcaster's trying to get away from the Supreme Sorcerers of Dark now. He's probably going to throw more Spirit Leeches at her? Yeah, okay. Got a little close, but no more Spirit Leeches at her. And now these War Wagons are going to get underneath her. So this is actually a bit of a risky position for Handons to be in. Throws down a Soul Stealer for some healing. It also hurts the Outward Grenade Launchers, but it's mostly for the healings. He just desperately throws it out. Oof, boof. Elsewhere, the Dark Elves are trying to get over here and help out. Picking off state troops while they do so. But I'm going to double fast forward just through this little phase, as both sides kind of regroup. War Wagon's trying to hit her. Hanniden's dodging as best he can. He is dodging a lot of the damage, but still some is getting through, and she routes. The Deathcaster will be able to take her off the map, and that is a big comeback for the Empire. Because losing Boris, we can see that their leadership faltered across the map. Deathcaster chases her off. Doesn't manage to kill her. So the Dark Elves suffer a bit of a loss on leadership, but not as big of one as if she had died. Now, they are not as cowardly as men. These are elves we're talking about, so overall their leadership is fine. Like, even these almost dead Shades are still chilling. These Dark Riders are still chilling. They won't flee. But grenades are trying to make them reconsider that. As they hit a couple rear shots on these guys. Shades counter fire as these guys dodge away. It's the charge speed, I think. Yeah. Catching up on chat, y'all just seem to be spitting facts, nothing I really need to weigh in on. The War Wagons don't have a lot of good targets left. They should probably just want to shoot the Cold One Knights. And I don't know what deals with the Shades at this point. We don't have Fate of Buna. We just have Spirit Leech, which is fine, but not amazing. The Empire Knights are too wounded to take on the Shades on their own. And the Outriders could kill the Shades if they could get in range without taking too much counterfire, but that is a lot to ask out of them. While some Swordsmen shatter off the field, Empire Knights trying to charge in. They'll get countercharged by Dark Riders. I wouldn't be shocked if the Dark Riders also broke, but it looks like the Empire Knights are on their way out, and it amounted to very little, unfortunately for them. Spirit Leech onto the Cold Knights is a good spell usage. It's nice. Though I'm still worried about the Shades. Like, I just don't know what deals with the Shades. Really good rear charge here from the Amethyst Wizard, paired up with the Empire Knights. Just lowers the leadership of the Cold Knights enough to get rid of them. Hopefully... Oh, nope. That Dark Elf leadership kicks in for a bit. They get up to positive leadership for a while, then they rout. And Shades friendly fire their own Cold Knights because why not? The Shades are like, yeah, Human Boy's saying we're the key to winning this matchup, so fuck you, Cold Knights. War Wagons are in range. They're firing into the backs of these Cold Knights, getting what damage they can out while they can. But the Shades are here to make them pay for that a little bit. The healthy Spearmen are walking in to distract the Shades and just be a nuisance while the Outriders grenade launchers were routed by something off-screen while I wasn't looking. And that is a lot of the DPS you wish was here. While the Spearmen were trying to distract stuff, while these War Wagons were taking some damage, you were hoping that the grenade launchers could be here and punishing these Shades. Another Spirit Leech is out for the Cold Knights, whose leadership is so far holding. The War Wagons are doing what damage they can, but now they need to run away from all the Shade fire coming in. Ooey, owie, those armor-piercing missiles. Most of them are dodged, but still. Grenade launchers have rallied in the distance. They'll need to get their asses back here pronto. And the Dark Riders routing nearby allies plus getting shot should take the Cold Knights with them. So the mobility of the Dark Elves is gone. But we still have 3 healthy Shades with tons of ammunition considering how late in the game we are and how little is left going on. Spearmen trying to chase, but the Shades, nice job by Hamden's here. He's going in 3 different directions so that the Spearmen can't muck up multiple Shades at once. And now the Shades going to rout and shatter the Outriders for the last time with this volley. They can't dodge enough of it that they'll withstand routing, so there they go. And then their Spearmen or whatever was next to them also goes. Amethyst Wizard doing his best to muck up some of these Shades, but if they throw guard mode on, they could kill the War Wagons on the approach. The War Wagons themselves only have 6 and 2 volleys, and their volleys don't do that much damage to the Shades. I do think the Dark Elves have this wrapped up. Spearmen take a nasty volley, and with that they will rout soon. There they go. That'll take them out. And that's going to be the game. Another Spirit Leech onto the Shades, but it's not going to matter. Deathcaster's going to kite around as best he can. Takes a little bit of damage. War Wagons come back, doing what they can, but they'll die to the Shades if they ever get close enough. And that is GG. A very, very close game between Scroot and Hanniden's. War Wagons did pretty darn well. Deathcaster did amazing. Boris did not get a lot done. He spent most of his time trying to run away. Outriders grenade launchers paid for themselves-ish, so that's good. Pistoleers did fine-ish. Throwing some ishes in there, because, like, I don't know, 200 and 400 didn't technically pay for themselves, but I appreciated them on the battlefield. For Hanniden's, his Cold Knights were effective. Shades were very, very good. Even the ones that didn't get value were just, you know, annoying in there, and they kept the War Wagons at bay. They kept the grenade launchers at bay, so they were very useful. Dark Riders were constant blockers that helped out. Witch Elves got a few key rampages in there, so both sides. Good builds, good stuff. I don't really think there was that many units that I'd be like, just don't bring this one. It's like, oh, okay, I kind of see what everybody's doing here, and I get it. There are times where people bring stuff that I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? What are these builds? Back to El Photoshop. It's a win for the Dark Elves. ODM's up 3-2 right now. Move the blocker down a little bit. Boop, boop. The math score is 178 to 150. And let's get some What Elves Norska action. Green one and Butcherbird. Okay. Norska for the green one versus Butcherbird's beloved Wood Elves, and he's doing the Butcherbird build. This is classic him. 4 Deepwood Scouts, and then a bunch of Wild Riders and Sisters of the Thorn in the back. He will swear by Wild Riders, and I will always swear that they're bad, but oh well. He makes them work. We have a Glade Lord with the Helm of Discord, and then a Life Caster on, I guess you call it Foot, but she's on Levitation, so whatever. Regrowth and Earthblood for her. For Norska, we do have the usual dogs and skin wolves. But the skin wolves are armored. The dogs are all poison. No Norskan ice wolves here. Front line of Marauders, we have Throg the Troll King backed up by 2 Norskan ice trolls. Then a Premier Bale Fiend of Shadows. Pendulum and Melkoths. And then we have a couple Javelin Throwers. Because the Wood Elves aren't usually going to bring that much armor that you can't deal with it. And overall, I get what's going on here. The Shadows Caster brought a slow spell, and then the Norskan Ice Trolls both have Frostbite. If you can get them onto the Deepwood Scouts, or the Waywatchers, or whatever's going to be kiting you, you can slow them down and let the Marauders catch up. Also, the Norskan Warhounds, I thought he took a couple with Poison. Maybe I was mistaken. Yeah, there's the Poison. So you could have Chillbite, Frostbite from the Norskan Ice Trolls. Why am I stuttering so much right now, dude? Anyway, Poison slows you down. Chilling slows you down in different ways. Melkoth slows you down in different ways. So it's a lot of slows, so you can just catch them and get the fight. What is also going to happen, though, is going to get completely surrounded and murked by the cavalry. A Curse of Honor here, bound by the Sisters of the Thorn. Nerf their stats to nothing. These Norskan Ice Trolls are going to shatter any second now. And a really good engagement for the Wood Elves. Are going to back off with their victory. Get the hell out of here. Skin Wolves are creeping in, though, and that is going to be a problem. See if the Glade Lord can get back up in the sky. It looks like she's not going to. She instead just Helm of Discords them and turns to take the fight with her Wild Hunters of Kronos and other Wild Riders with Sister of Thorn in here as well. Little Earthblood to heal them up. Wild Riders charge back in, and already another Skin Wolf is routing. But the Javelin Throwers are in range to maybe help out with this a little bit. They're starting to move up once again. Throg's in here swinging away, and he uses the Wintertooth Crown, but it makes some stuff unbreakable after it's already terror routing, so now these armored Skin Wolves will just terror out until the Wintertooth Crown wears off. But in the backfield, Norska is finally getting to the Deepwood Scouts they so treasured. Some of the dogs got here, some of the Skin Wolves got here. Wild Riders charge over and take care of some of the dogs, but these Norskan Ice Trolls lower the speed of the Deepwood Scouts down to 27. Marauders are at 35, so the Marauders can easily catch them. Deepwood Scouts still kiting away as best they can. The cavalry pops over here to try and bail these guys out. Meanwhile, the Glade Lord gets trapped, fighting Throg, who's beating the shit out of her, while 2 Marauders throw to their heart's content against her backside. She's unshielded, only has 60 armor, and is getting wasted by these little Jav throwers. Rip in peace. She does rout. We'll see if the dogs can escort her off. The Javelins get another meaningful volley onto her. The Wild Riders are losing the attrition fight versus Norska slowly but surely. They're doing a lot of damage on impact, but then these Skin Wolves and Trolls back off, get more health, and come back, and the Wild Riders have a much harder time doing that. Where is the Glade Lord? It looks like she died somewhere. There she is. Her dead body's right in front of Throg. She is dead. Without her, the Wood Elves take a leadership debuff. And their balance power tanks down. We're losing the Wild Hunters of Kronos. We're losing 2 other Wild Riders. Sisters of Thorn trying to fight it out to the very end. But they're getting pummeled by these little Javelins and pushed off yet again. Soon it'll be just the 4 Deepwood Scouts left alive for the Wood Elves, and that's not nearly enough DPS to win it, as we have dogs returning to the fight. From Balefiend's fine. Throg's fine. We still have Skin Wolves and Trolls healing up. There's way too much for 4 Deepwood Scouts to kill. Especially 2 of them are significantly injured. Wild Riders trying to return to the fight, get one last charge in, but a quick Melkoth should guarantee their exit from this battlefield. I mean, they'll get their charge, but as soon as the charge bonus wears off for their leadership, they will rout. Take some Marauders with them. Wood Elves still trying to kite away. Sisters of the Thorn might rally if the Deepwood Scouts can peel those armored Skin Wolves off of them. We'll see, we'll see. I feel like I haven't seen too many regrowths out of the Spellcaster, but I suppose it was only a 4-minute game. And she doesn't have Arcane Conduit or anything, so yeah, it might just be that. She has tons of Winds of Magic in the bank, but not, like, a lot on hand right now. This game was shorter than it felt. What's the score? Oh, okay, that was from earlier. Yeah, score is currently 3-2 in ODM's favor. Looks like it's going to go to 4-2 unless something crazy happens. Spellsinger tries to hold these guys back. Sisters of Thorn take one last charge onto 2 Skin Wolf units. Shield of Thorns gives them a little bit of melee affection, but it's not too much, and when they rout, Army Loss is going to hit and take the rest of the Wood Elf army with it. Norska pressures forward. Takes a win. Throg actually got pretty good value. Shadows Caster also did pretty great. Norska Ice Trolls, not a lot of value, but they were there more for being support. And yeah, you could tell what killed the Glade Lord. 2,200 damage value on a Marauder Hunter Javelin in a 5-minute game. Definitely just whittled her down while she was in that blob fight. For Butcherbird, Glade Lord only got 500 value, unfortunately for him. Deepwood Scouts all did pretty well, paying for themselves. And then the Wild Riders didn't quite pay for themselves, just the Thorn also got rolled. G. 3 games left, 2/3 of the way through the stream. Let's go back to Photoshop and update L score. Norska taking another win for ODM. It's currently 4-2 for them. Move down the thing again. Move down this thing again. Overall score is 208 to 150 on the math score. Now, if we are in reverse sweep territory, Tsipa, Palpatine, and Bloodpagan all have to win on traditional score. And I think they'd also win on the funky math score too, right? Yeah. So I think for both, we need Tsipa, Palpatine, and Blood Penguin to sweep to keep this series alive. Why would you do that? Okay. Tsipa, what? Why would you do that? Tsipa, why would you do that? Scaven have some of the best shooting in the game. You took the Ravens Heralds? Why do we have 2 War Hydras? 1 is fine as a distraction card effects. 2 is too many. 2. What is happening here? Alright, this is a wild Dark Elf build. If it beats Scaven, I'm safe. I'm safe now. Because if it beats Scaven, this wild-ass build can beat Scaven, and therefore Scaven are a bad faction. Or, if Scaven managed to win it, then Scaven beat a really fucking weird build. You don't have Malice. Malice Darkblade is single-handedly the best lord in this matchup. He can almost win the whole game by himself. You took fucking Marathi. Why? Why? Oh, I hate it. I hate this Dark Elf build. Alright. For the Skaven versus the Dark Elves. Skaven brought 6 of their little skirmish people, Night Runners and Gutter Runners mixed throughout. Then we have a front line of Skaven slaves, some Ratogers and Wolfrats in the back line. Claw with his Flensing Ruin, and then Warp Lightning for a little bit more punishment, and a Packmaster for a bit of support. On the other side for the Dark Elves, we have the Ravens Heralds, and then Dread Spears across the front line, some Witch Elves, a bunch of Dark Riders. I like that. I like Dark Riders. Some people take like 2 Cold One Knights instead of 4 Dark Riders. Dark Riders are just better against Skaven. And then 2 War Hydras, including the Chill of Sontar, Marathi up on her mount with Soul Stealer and Melkoths. More Melkoth spams onto the Night Runners, with the breath attacks of the Hydras taking a little bit of damage out on them, and so far handling this Skaven kite well. Trading very effectively, because like the Hydras are going to heal up any damage that Tsipa's taking, and then the Dread Spears are whatever, a chaff unit with silver shields. The Ravens Heralds are going to have a really bad time. They'll have so bad of a time getting to Claw or anyone worth shooting because of all these Night Runners and Gutter Runners. And the Hydra's wandering around. Ratogers dive onto them. Walter's still getting shot by these 360 skirmishers, and the Packmaster joins in to give these guys some buffs. Some healing while they're in melee. Things like that. The Packmaster's going to do his best here. The Hydra's taking a bit of damage. And the Night Runners all moving up to continue damaging them. I would love to see Claw move up with an overcasted Flensing Ruin right on this blob where all 3 single entities are here. But definitely put it on the Hydras, because you're getting so much damage out right now that you just really want to burst them down and get their leadership to falter and run. There's an overcasted Flensing Ruin onto all 3 single entities and 4 infantry units. That is a huge Flensing Ruin from the Skaven, and the Dark Elves are in big trouble. They need to get out of here. Marathi paths her way out of the Flensing Ruin. She's going to get to safety, but already the Hydras are popping some of their healing procs, getting them closer and closer to those heal caps. The Ravens Heralds have nothing to do so far. Dark Riders taking some damage, routing off dogs, but running into Skaven slaves, and we'll see the Night Runners and Gunner Runners walk away. Healing cap has appeared for the Chill of Sontar. The other War Hydra's healing cap is right around the corner. I think 2 more ticks of Flensing Ruin will make it show up for us here. Wolfrat's actually going to rear charge into this area. Interesting choice. Pit Fighters also take the fight, and that's fine for them. Gutter Runners and Night Runners falling back away from Marathi, just kiting her out. And the Ravens Heralds are at last in range, able to shoot at something. And they're shooting at the Molder Monsters. Where is Ikit? Ikit throws down a Warp Lightning onto this little cluster of Witch Elves, trying to get some poke damage out, but they were already routing. There's Ikit. I was having trouble finding you. Morathi dives onto him for some good little poke. She was anti-large, arm piercing. Takes a fight with Ikit, that's fine. And both the Hydras are routing away from the Dark Elves. We'll see if the Skaven can have enough mobility presence to chase them down. Looks like the Dark Riders have taken enough damage that they will. And the Dark Elves are already down to 2 of their infantry units are healthy enough to stay in the fight. We have a half-health Dark Rider. The Raven's Heralds are full health. Morathi's full health, to be fair. And a Hydra is very healthy if it can rally. But I don't know. I think a player of the caliber of Sagos should be on top of it enough to chase these guys down. And the Raven's Herald lose a quarter of their HP from one volley of Night Runners and Gutter Runners. God damn. Ikit and the Packmaster chasing off the Hydra, not going to let it go. They might be overextending a little bit, though. There are Dark Riders flying in. Morathi's getting a rear charge on them, and this could be a mistake from the Scaven. We need some Rat Ogres over here to help them out, to help chase off this stuff. It doesn't look like the Rat Ogres are available right now. They're busy chasing off the Chill of Sontar. Raven's Heralds are pushed off immediately, and the War Hydra gets the safety due to all the peeling Sippa provided for it. Ikit Claw tries to roll through, get away from Morathi. I don't think he's even trying to keep up with the War Hydra anymore. He's just trying to get away from Morathi, but it's not really working out for him. I've only seen one Cleansing Rune so far, so he probably has another one available soon. Chill of Sontar, Heal Cap has been approached, still having troubles getting away from the Rat Ogres. And Sagos has tons of hiding units just chilling in the background. Raven's Heralds rally, so does the War Hydra. Ikit Claw's down to half HP as Morathi continues to beat up on him. And he's falling back. Another Warp Lightning trying to help out the Packmaster. Punishes a clump of Dark Riders. Raven's Herald's poking away at Ikit Claw, getting a little bit of damage onto him. And the Chill of Sontar is getting run around by the Skaven so much that it gets forced back into the blob fight somehow. Cleansing Rune should be nerfed. It should be nerfed, but also, for the love of God, Skaven needs some buffs in other areas. Cleansing Rune should be nerfed. It is a little too strong, but I do like how much it punishes blob play, because blobs are really stupid and annoying. From all factions. I'm not a blob fan of any faction. Alright, Soul Stealer down from Morathi, trying to heal her up and damage the Skaven. It catches a lot of the Skaven army in it, to be fair. Chill of Sontar is going to get away for now, though. The other Hydra is back in. Heal Cap approaching, Packmaster diving back in. The balance of power comes back towards the Dark Elves. Holy shit, are the Skaven going to lose? Ikit Claw trying to rout off the Raven's Heralds again. He does get their leadership negative for a bit, but it's not enough. There it is. Now they rout again. Packmaster and his Rat Ogres trying to hold on in the fight against the War Hydra. Morathi's diving down here. Hi, Groots. We saw your game earlier. Pit Fighter's trying to rejoin the Packmasters. The Packmaster keeps these Rat Ogres in the fight for now, though they're very close to Terror Routing. Oh, it looks like they're immune. They must have Terror Routed recently. Hydra routes again from some overlapping fire from the Gutter Runners and Night Runners and stuff, plus being attacked by Rat Ogres in the bum. Chill of Sontar's fighting the Pit Fighters Hells Deep, plus some Clan Rats. They should be able to beat the Chill, but without the healing the Packmaster provides, they're not going to be a huge fan of what's going on here. Morathi's still trying to Lord Snipe Ikit, but she's on her Dark Pegasus mount. Dark Pegasus and regular Pegasus mounts are kind of some of the worst mounts in the game. They just have terrible animations, so they usually end up T-posing on people rather than doing any damage to them. The Hydras are routing. Chill of Sontar might actually just die. And a Melcast from Morathi tries to hurt the Pit Fighters. But she was unsuccessful in sniping Ikit, which maybe could have turned this fight around. With Ikit still alive, we're getting down to just Morathi being here. Chill of Sontar routes again, and it'll probably just die. 760 HP and being heal cap is brutal. Packmaster and Ikit gonna run off this other War Hydra. It is just Morathi. Double fast forward for a second. Maybe she can snipe Ikit and somehow win the game, but I doubt it. Cleansing Rune onto her should cause army losses to trigger. She gets caught up in some Gutter Runners for a bit. There she goes. GG. The Hydras tried. They almost came back in the late game, but rough value for them. Morathi did great. Raven's Heralds almost paid for themselves. They had to spend most of the game chilling, waiting for the Night Runners to go away, but they eventually showed up and did some things. And Dark Riders and Bleasters, Dread Spears did fine. Skaven S tier? Is it Skaven S tier, or is it fucking double Hydra Raven's Heralds grouping up for a Cleansing Rune on top of all of them? That was insane. And they almost won! And they almost won! Ugh. I hate it. I hate it. Rat Ogre's getting really good value fighting the Hydras next to Packmaster all game. Packmaster and Ikka got crazy value. Wolf Rats didn't have too much to do, but they tried their hearts out. Night Runners and Gutter Runners mostly paying for themselves across the board, just throwing at the Hydras and Ravens, Heralds, and stuff all game. And then Clan Arts and Skaven Slaves got rolled. That will mathematically seal the deal on ODM winning the traditional way, as they are up 5-2 in a best of 9. So the best the Mercenaries can do is 4 at this point. Mathematically, they are, what are they? 88 points ahead. So what is 20% of 240? That'd be 48 points per win, roughly. I'm rounding, right? With 2 wins left, 48 times 2 is 96. So technically on the point system, if Pop Palpatine and Blood Penguin win, I believe the math works out that they would pull ahead on points. So technically on one of the 2 metrics that they were trying out, the Mercenaries can still get a win, but ODM does have 5 wins in a best of 9. Next up, Pop Palpatine's Beastmen versus Alfredino on the Vampire Coast. Who do you think is better right now, Berserker or Alfred? Probably Alfred. Probably Alfred. I think the thing that holds Berserk back is not skill. I feel like microing their units wise and decision making wise, he's as good as Alfred. But I don't know. Berserk kind of has that raced syndrome in him, where he feels like he gets bored of the meta, which I can't blame him. I do too, but I'm not a top level player, right? So among the top level players, you usually have people who are perfectly fine to just roll meta over and over and over again and keep playing meta until they fucking die. And Berserk doesn't feel that way. It feels like he'll play it for a couple weeks, then just fuck off and do whatever he wants. And he relies on his skill and matchup knowledge to win, rather than taking the best units and skills. So it's like, that's why I'd favor him versus Alfredino. It's like, Alfredino and Berserk are equally good, but Alfredino has reps and reps and reps on the best possible shit, and Berserk's probably only played it like 10 times, which sounds like a lot, but, you know. He'll probably try to pick Nurgle and Khorne and shit and lose. Anyway, we have a game in front of us. Enough speculating. For Pop Palpatine, we have Khazrak and a Brave Shaman of Wild, both in their chariots, currently deleting a zombie mob. Then we have Archers, Centaurs are throwing X's, Razorgore Herds, a bunch of Ungor Spears, and then Blackhorn's Ravagers. But we took a lot of damage on a Brave Shaman of Wilds earlier. On the other side for the Vampire Coast, we have some Bomber mobs, Handgun mobs, Pistol mobs, triple crabs with the gunners on the back of them, and some pole arms. We have Count Noctilus on foot with Invocation Hack and his summon as well. Plus some Scurvy Dogs who are immediately getting roasted and toasted by the Beastmen front line. So they are not able to find their way onto the Archers. They are just getting stuck in the frontline fight, which is the last thing they want to be doing. But desperate times call for desperate measures as Khazrak and the boys roll through the front line. The Vampire Coast are losing a lot of units on this charge. The Beastmen charge is vicious to the extreme. Losing some pistol mobs, losing some chaff. Dogs are already crumbling. And the Roderick Promethean mobs also taking a lot of damage. It is not one-sided, however, as Centaurs, Ungor Herds, more Centaurs have also taken a lot of damage or getting pushed away. Overall, I think the Beastmen are doing fine on the start, but I will say it's not been for free. This Ungor Raider is a little too close to the front line for my liking. I think he's counting on this deckhand mob to just be taken out, and he's going to stand and fight regardless. Khazrak's trying to fight Noctilus. Both are good against each other. Khazrak is an anti-infantry armor-piercing chariot, while Noctilus is an anti-large armor-piercing halberd, so both are pretty happy to take that fight. But Noctilus has healing, Khazrak does not, so Khazrak opts out, is going to charge into the backline, try and help out some Razorgore Herds. And on the charge, he and Cetra do decent damage. They do decent damage. But I think they're both a little overcosted for what they bring. But as far as chariot characters go, performance-wise, they're both actually fine. I think they're both just overcosted. Cetra costs 3,000 gold on his chariot with a couple spells, and Khazrak costs 1,700 with his items. So, nasty damage onto Khazrak from these handguns. As the handguns, both handgun mobs are turning and firing at him while he's stuck on some crabs who are almost dead, but they're holding him in place. Apocalyptic Vision gives him some buffs. But it might be too late for the dreaded Beast Lord as he gets gunned down in his chariot. Noctilus even rolls up to get a little bit of a pokey poke to finish him off. And that is a brutal loss for the Beastmen leadership-wise. If he can survive and get into the distance, maybe they can still win this game as another good Trader King comes out. But brutal overcast damage. The Beastmen are just rolling ones over and over again in this game. RNG has not been on their side, as now their Lord and Caster are both taking significant damage. The Vampire Coast have lost a lot of their army, overall width-wise, but they still have the Lamprey's Revenge, who are very healthy. They still have Noctilus, who's very healthy. We have pistol mobs that can be annoying and whatnot. Archers try and continue to poke these guys down, whittle their lines. Blackwood's Ravager still fighting against the Prometheans mob. And one of our 3 Promethean mobs is about to fade away. Handgun mob going to take with it. Razorgore Herds finish off this random zombie. And Noctilus has actually taken significant damage while I wasn't looking, which could be a thing. I wonder where his heal cap is, right? If he spent literally no time healing at all, then this is fine. But if he's been healing and he's this low, he could actually get into crumbling territory. Unger Raider's going to get pushed off by the bombers while they try and finish off some of the pistol mobs. The Lamprey's Avenger here to also chase these guys off, so it's looking a little bleak for the Beastmen as they try and rely on their melee prowess. The Rotting Prometheans mob has beaten the Blackhorn's Ravagers. Don't know how much healing they've received, if any. I wonder if throwing axes can get in range to help out with this a little bit. Wild's Caster is safe in the trees for now, saving up for another Traderkin. Kazrik's also wandering around, though he is getting hit with a Wraith Storm. We'll see if he can skirt to safety, though. With the missile changes, I doubt he can dodge many of the projectiles. Oh, not bad. He only took like 90 damage from that. Cool. Good stuff, good stuff. Wild's Caster is back. Bomber Mob is taken out. Handgun Mob is also taken out. We still have a Pistol Mob. Lamprey's Revenge. A Promethean that is very wounded has no self-healing. Noctilus, who is quite wounded. And that is about it. For the Beastmen, we have tattered forces, but forces nonetheless. A lot of archers, and Centaurs are throwing axes with plenty of ammunition. They're currently getting gunned down by pistol mobs. They'll have to watch out for that. Noctilus chucks out a pistol summon. How many summons do you have left, my friend? 1 on his Moondial, 2 natural. Juicy Trader King target has presented itself, but do we have the Winds of Magic, and does the Wild's Caster dare to use an Overcast? And Kazrik seems to have got himself a fight with some halberds that did not go his way, and he routes away to safety, but we'll see if he rallies at all throughout the course of this game. Trader King Caster's coming in. I think we're going to see it. Is it Overcast? Yes, and again he takes the Overcast damage. Pop Palpatine really just rolling straight snake eyes all fucking game long. It was a good Traderkin. I appreciate it, but he is getting no breaks. As the Beastman balance of power dips even further, this Rotting Promethean's mob's getting low. It gets an indication to heck. Noctilus' heal cap is in sight, but it's a very long bar between his current health and that heal cap, so he has a lot of healing he can give himself. And Lamprey's Revenge is still chilling. Wild's Caster and the Destroyers of Drakewald are back. Archers are trying to skirmish around with the coast for a bit. That's a summon, it's not real. This guy is real, and he's going to fade away soon. And that Polearms mob is trying to rejoin the fight. Kazrik, 0 leadership, does not look like he's going to rally for the Beastmen, so they are on a ticking timer before he gets off the battlefield and spikes their leadership even lower. Time is not on the Beastmen's side. The Coast are loving it. Every second this game goes on, Noctilus can heal some more, Lampreys can heal some more, and Noctilus can throw out more summons. What can the Beastmen do to decide this game? Wild's Caster going away from Noctilus for now. Archer's trying to kite out the Lamprey's Revenge. Kazrik still 0 leadership. And it's exhaustion and damage sustained that are taking him out, so it doesn't look like he's going to change that situation anytime soon, so he is just going to go right off the map. Where's Strat Game? Strat Game's alive. Alright. Looks like we're going to start losing this last gunnery mob, though Noctilus does offer it another heal to actually keep it in the fight. The summon from Noctilus earlier faded away. And Kazrik, seriously, I will keep bringing it up, man. Pop Palpatine's having a rough game. Kazrik goes off the map with 0 leadership the whole way through. Just perfectly 0. Not negative and not positive. 0. Just to make you depressed. And all of his Traderkins overcast, which hurt his lord. Like, and you might be like, I hate that it's the same word, but like, you can choose to overcast something, and when you overcast, there is a percentage chance that you do damage to yourself. It is called overcast damage. Every single time he procced overcast damage. That's fucking rough. And it was a close enough game that, like, I won't say if one of those things had gone his way, he would have won, but I think, like, if 2 of those things. Because, like, 3 overcasts onto your hero, and Kazrik going off the map at 0 leadership all 4 of those are brutal. So it's like, maybe if one of your overcasts doesn't fucking nuke your caster, and maybe if Khazrak rallies, then you do okay. Maybe if 2 of your overcasts don't nuke your caster, that would have gone okay. Wasn't Penguin in RTK? No. No, he wasn't. Back when I was in RTK, I was trying to recruit him, but he always said no. Archers did fine. Ungors did fine, considering what they had to do. Razorgors did well. Centaurs, throwing axes or otherwise, got largely marked here, but the Wilds caster more than made up for 2,000 value. Khazrak was actually doing okay too until that part where he got stuck on the crabs and the handguns gunned him down. He was doing fine until then. For Alfredino, Noctilus was around. He didn't get a lot of value this game, but he was around. Crabs didn't get a lot of value either, but they just tanked through some stuff. Handguns got a lot of value. They did great. Dogs got wrecked. The one bomber mob did fine. And then pistols did pretty well. So GG. And that'll seal the deal on both metrics of scoring. We'll still cast the last game, but there is no possible way that the Mercenaries win on either metric now, as Alfredino takes ODM to a 6-2. Yes, a 6-2 lead. And then the scores are 150, 268. Even if Pop Palpatine wins at this point, it would be like a approximately 50-point win, which would still leave them like 60 behind. Last game is Beastmen yet again, but it is on ODM's side, this time with Razel versus Blood Penguin on the Warriors of Chaos. For honor, for pride, with nothing on the line. Overcast damage is called miscast. Fine, but it's like the same fucking thing. I think, like, instead of overcast and miscast, I would prefer it's, you know, something else. Like, hypercast or something positive. Because overcast sounds like overextend. It sounds like a bad thing. Whereas the miscast is the bad thing. Clanless, name of clan, or is it just what it says? It's just a bunch of people who aren't in clans who got together to fight ODM. Alright, for Razel and Blood Penguin. Razel on the Beastmen. We have an Ungor Spearman frontline, Torox the Brass Bull, Minotaurs, including the Benches of Calc Guard. Some of the Minotaurs have great weapons. Then a bunch of Centaurs, some of which have throwing axes, and a Wilds caster on his chariot. For the Warriors of Chaos, it's a lot of knights. It's Chaos Knights of Khorne, Chaos Knights with lances, Chaos Knights regular. We have a Chaos Sorcerer Lord of Nurgle with Fleshy Abundance, a Mutilate Vortex Beast to receive that healing, and then a front line of 4 Marauders. We also have 2 Marauder Horsemen, 1 is of Tzeentch. Ooh, 3 Marauder Horsemen, but still 1 is of Tzeentch. Mutilate Vortex Beast gets surrounded by spears and minos, and throwing axes, and archers, so he's going to want to back out of this. His shields are gone, and he's lumbering away to safety. He'll be fine. He blasts them with some lightning, doing good stuff there. And something is happening over here. It's a Traderkin Overcast onto 3 Skirmish Cav and a Chaos Knight, which will do overall pretty good damage. Nice stuff, nice stuff. And the Mutilith is trying to fall back with all the other Chaos Knights as these Chaos Knights wander up to get what damage they can in onto these Ungor Spearman herds, who are braced. They have charge defense versus large, so they won't take as much damage as you might suspect. Mutilith Vortex Beast trying to drain down and fight with the Butchers of Calgan Guard, though their terror from those Butchers do rout off 2 of the Skirmish Cav, leaving just Chaos Knights to stand their ground with the Mutilith Vortex Beast. Chaos Sorcerer Lord of Nurgle is also going to get in the fight here with Torox and a couple of the Butchers. But man, the Butchers are taking a lot of damage, as are their other Minotaur compatriots that came with them, and Chaos Knights are even offering some rear charging to try and get those guys to rout. Because if they rout, Chaos has by far the mobility advantage and could just walk them off the map. Butchers down to 1 leadership, -5 for them, and they rout. Centaur's terror out away, and that leaves these Minos all alone. The Mutilith Vortex Beast takes an Overcast of Fleshy Abundance that hits all those Chaos Knights, too. That was a really big Fleshy Abundance. Really good for the Warriors of Chaos as well. Torox takes his fight to some of the Skirmish Cav, taking some Centaurs with him. We'll see if these Chaos Knights loop up and push those guys back, though that would leave the Butchers of Calgan Guard free to rally in the distance on their own and heal back up. So far, the Warriors of Chaos are a little advantaged in the state of the battlefield. 50-50 on balance of power, but I feel like they're doing okay. Chaos Knight's having issues fighting these Centaurs. I think they're fighting a couple of models that are right next to them and not charging the larger group. It's not really a fault of the player. And Torox is about to find himself a free fight with the Chaos Sorcerer Lord of Nurgle. The Sorcerer Lord is not at all an equal to Torox in melee combat. Oh, big Traderkin onto 3 Chaos Knights and the Mutalith and some Marauders. The Mutalith has already received a good amount of healing, so I wonder where his healing cap is. The Sorcerer Lord of Nurgle is getting chased down by Torox and the Caster again, still really forcing him back. Centaur's pushed off from the skirmish cap, so that's going well, but the Sorcerer Lord of Nurgle has to get away from here. And needs some Chaos Knights to continue peeling for him or something. The Beastmen have suffered a lot of attrition damage, however. Their infantry line isn't looking too hot. Their cavalry and Minotaurs have also taken significant damage. Their single entities are fine, and they have some archers who are fine. That's about it. Archers do just fine against the Mutalith Vortex Beast, though. That thing's down to half HP after receiving some healing, so who knows where its healing cap is. Actually, we might know, as I think I see it. Yes, I saw it appear just now, as it continues to take insane levels of damage. Nurgle Caster's doing his best to offer what support he can where he can. Skirmish Cav are getting into the backfield, but the Chaos Knights are busy on the front line. And another huge Traderkin is going to hit all of these Knights and the Lord and the Mutalith Vortex Beast just as it's getting a heal from Fleshy Abundance. There it is. Traderkin Caster might rout, Butcher's Calvin Guard might rout, and Marauders have now gotten onto the backline where they can fight Ungor Raiders in peace. Bounce power is still 50-50-ish, though it is tipping in the favor of the Beastmen. The Mutalith has rallied while still receiving that Fleshy Abundance heal. It'll need to charge back in here and help out with Torox and the lads. Chaos Knights not enjoying their fight with Minotaurs. Even the Butchers without their anti-large are more than happy to just fight armored cavalry all day long. Other Skirmish Cav and Marauders trying to push away the Ungor Raiders and push away the Centaurs with throwing axes, and that is going well for them so far. But the Traderkin Caster not actually routing earlier when he was super low is a problem, and Chaos just looks to be suffering too much attrition. Their Chaos Knights are all extremely wounded. We have some Chaos Knights with lances in the distance that need to be rallied back into the fight. It doesn't look like they're noticed just yet, but most of their Chaos Knights are off the battlefield. A lot of the cavalry you see on your screen right now is a Skirmish Cav that's here. Mutalith back in the fight, draining some things down. Butcher's still hanging on. Minos with Great Weapons hanging on, and Torox is chilling. Big chillin' as Grognov's Wolf's run through this area. Looks like the Mutalith is going to try and take the fight to the Minotaurs with the last of some Chaos Knights of Khorne, and these other Chaos Knights with Lances are rejoining the fight, so this is a big moment for Chaos to try and win, but another Traderkin hits this whole blob, taking out the Chaos Knights of Khorne, the Chaos Sorcerer Lord, and the Mutalith Vortex Beast, as Minotaurs tear him down, as the Throwing Axes and Archers tear him down. It's too much damage for his poor little beastly soul. It looks like he is going to rout away any second now, manages to hold for now, taking both of the Minotaurs into rout. And the Groghoofs of Wolf's Run go from like full HP to just about dead, so all of a sudden the Chaos break the spine of the Beastmen, pushing them far back. And Throwing Axe is trying to finish off the Mutalith Vortex Beast, but it's not to be just yet. Marauders getting a good fight with the Ungor Raiders in the background, a perfect fight for them. They're doing much less damage than I would have expected versus the Ungor Raiders. I thought they would be kicking a lot more ass, but whatever, they're getting there. Chaos Knights with Lances still trying to fight back against all this stuff, but Torox is a menace. Chaos has a ton of Marauders left. Very healthy considering the point in the game we're at. Another casted Fleshy Abundance on a Chaos Knight with Lances. Still 31 models out of 60. If these guys can get away and receive that healing, they can hold on for a while. They're still losing some models, though, to Torox and others. And I think Torox is even setting them on fire. He is, so he's reducing that healing they get. And the Beastmen are proving much more tenacious than maybe they should. Considering how low they are and how low their leadership is, or supposedly is, they are very hard to get rid of. Chaos Sorcerer Lord Nurgle is now surrounded by the Butcher's Calvin Guard, does manage to squeak away. As other Chaos Knights are shattering, other Chaos Knights are terror routing. The Mutalith Vortex Beast trying to rejoin the fight with only 9 leadership. But he takes a big volley from the Groghoofs of Wolf's Run. That routes him off and shatters a Chaos Knight nearby, so the Chaos Knights are really falling apart. Marauder's still trying to fight. Sorcerer Lord of Nurgle is fine. I wonder if he has any healing left in this game, if it goes for the Chaos Knights or for the very injured Mutalith Vortex Beast. The Chaos Knights are probably slightly more efficient to use it on, but you kind of need that Mutalith to deal with Torox, if anything's going to deal with him. If you get the Mutalith to get a couple good charges in onto him while Brass Body is down or something. Last of the Centaurs, chilling out with the Butchers of Kalkengard and Torox. Nurglecaster dives in to try and distract them so the Chaos Knights can get a rear charge, but it is extremely risky. We'll see if the Minos can push through their own Centaurs to get to him. Yes, they can. They immediately do. But the Chaos forces are coming. Can they get the rear charge that'll break the Beastmen once again? But the Nurglecaster is not withstanding. He is trying to run away, which just leads them further and further away from his forces, so it's kind of a lose-lose as he takes shots on the back while also not letting his forces get any closer. He ends up tanking it as he was trying to. Here comes the Chaos Knight charge. Rear charge. Does it knock the Beastman leadership down? We are going to lose one Centaur with throwing axes, it looks like. But another Traitorkin hits the Mutal Vortex Beast, hits the Chaos Knights, and that will kill the Mutal Vortex Beast for sure and end this game, as it'll leave just a Chaos Sorcerer Lord of Nurgle, who's not enough to win this whole game. Definitely not. Is it even overcast? It's brutal. Mutalith is shattered. Chaos Knights are just about toast. And the Beastmen did manage to hold ranks. The Centaurs did not rout after all. They actually did manage to hold, but your Scouting Guard shatter away. But yeah. That is looking like GG. These basic Marauders can't stop Torox. The Nurgle casters certainly can't. There's nothing left for the Warriors of Chaos here. Nurgle caster's gonna rout soon. And that is army losses. ODM take the day 6-2 on the scoreboard. For Razel, Torox did great. Trader Caster 2,800 value. Minotaurs, one of them got Shrek, the other ones did fine. Centaurs throwing axes did amazing. Centaurs regular struggled a bit. And then the one Ungor Raider got 1,000 value shooting at the Mutalith Vortex Beast. On the other side, Mutalith Beast got 3,000 value. Chaos Knights, mixed overall. Marauder Skirmish Cav did fine. Basic Marauders did fine. Handed with $5 donation. What did Michelle say when Obama got on the roof of their house? Get Barack here. Wait. Oh, get Barack here? Get back here. I got it. I got it. Torox still better than 80% of the Chaos Lords. Chaos has some really good Lords on their roster. They're not missing Torox. They have Archaon, who's amazing. They have the Chaos Sorcerer Lord of Nurgle, who's really good. They have Sigvald, who's really good. Valkia is pretty solid. That's just off the top of my head. I think they have some other good ones on there. Tempted to go look, but I'll finish this up for now. Basic Chaos Sorcerer Lords are also fine. That's not what I need to do. I need to go to this. There we go. Final score is 6-2. Boop, boop. 150 to 298 for the super mega awesome math catch-up score thing. And that is a G. Congrats to ODM. Oh, if you care about upcoming content, we have a lot of upcoming content. Streaming the patch notes tomorrow. Streaming Chieftain and Greyseer playoffs. Chieftain and Stormvermin playoffs at some point. When they're done. They're both still not done. Chieftain should be played tonight, so we'll see how that goes. And then Stormvermin said they'd play tomorrow. They said they'd play tomorrow night, but that's tomorrow night European time, so... If all things go according to plan, I'll have a patch note stream tomorrow, followed by a tournament stream, followed by a tournament stream, and then we'll be ready for the patch. That's the kind of insane bullshit we're doing with our time. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Goodbye, everybody. Do you have any hope for the Halberd boys on their discs? No. No. I think they'll be fine. I think they'll be fine. I don't think they'll be bad, but I still don't think they'll be the most meta thing to take. What if the patch notes come out right now? They won't, but then I'd stream right now. Team Scaven won, not even a surprise? Not even a surprise. They beat 2 Hydras that clumped up and got hit with an Overcasting Frenzy Ruiner 3. Alright. Goodbye forever.